I'm going to start with this problem about the momentum. And the problem states something about the collision between a motorcycle and a car. Now, we have to understand for first what momentum is. And momentum normally is denoted with P by notation. It's just a notation, is equal to the mass of the object times the velocity of the object. And is a vectorial. It's a vectorial value because velocity is a vector. So conclusion, the answer will have to be a vector. Now, in this case scenario, is asking you for A, which vehicle has the greatest momentum. Well, for that purpose, you have to find the momentum for each object. So the let's take the car, right? You multiply, of course, the mass of the car times the velocity of the car. And you know what? I am going to put the units of measurements at the end, which I don't really recommend. Actually, you should be putting like kilograms there, mass over second there. And you do the calculations. Then you also have to calculate the momentum of the motorcycle, which is 430 kilogram. So let's just be accurate. Times the velocity is 43 mass per second. So please evaluate this with a calculator, and then of course which one is greater. And to my understanding, I think you're going to end up with the car having a greater momentum. Now, so that's pretty simple. Just multiply the velocity with a mass. The second question says, what is the velocity of the motorcycle after the collision? All right, so we have to understand there is a system here going on. So, and for this system, there is a formula because what happens, the momentum is conserved. So the formula says, and I'm going to continue right on the bottom here. So what happens is the momentum for the first object, and let's start with the car, it really doesn't matter. So the first object, and I'm going to put C for the car, take away the momentum of the other object, which is the motorcycle. So I'm going to say M for the motorcycle. Has to be equal to, and I'm looking at the formula, is the velocity, the final velocity. I'm going to say here the final velocity of the system, because once they collide, you can imagine they keep moving, right? Because they have different momentums. That's why. So it won't be a zero. So times the total mass, okay, of both objects. So now all you have to do is to plug it in. The only value that you don't know is the velocity of the final object, and everything else you do know. So again, the velocity of the car, you know that. That would be 22. The mass, it's 1,320. For the motorcycle, again, it's what was the velocity? It was 43. The mass is 430. And obviously the total mass, you just add the motorcycle 1320 and the car plus 430. Okay, so you're going to end up with, so you're going to multiply these two, you're going to subtract, and then obviously to find the final value, you will have to divide both sides by the total mass. So you're going to end up with the final value equal to 22 times 1320 minus 43 times 430. I just want to make sure I'm not making a mistake here. Divided by the total mass, which is 1320 plus 430. Again, I'm going to let you do the calculations, but it's technically a plug in the formula. Okay. Now, the next question, it says, what is the change in momentum of the motorcycle? So the motorcycle